Hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel, where we're rejoining P. I like him a lot. I like these two a lot, actually. And ooh, those short shorts though. Uh, you know how it be. Yeah. He's cute. He's cute. Oh no, do I like him more than Asterion? I just met him and I'm already like, ooh, he's cute. uh, don't. It's fine. Also, P is really cool. I like him a lot. Before we proceed, I'm afraid I didn't catch your name. As I said, you can call me P.
P, is that really your name?
My family has a particular tradition. My dad, my grandpa, all the men share a very complicated name. Everyone I know just calls me P. It's easier. The Minotaur can't help but feel excitement stampeding in his chest. For a moment, he allows himself to fall into the fantasy of performing a mysterious ritual with the with this inscrutable man. Oh, that's a good pose. It rides up a little bit. Oh no. No. His chest swells as he recalls a nickname he was proud of, and how powerful he felt when people spoke it.
Then, you can call me Storm. It's what people used to call me.
Storm, very well, and nice to make your acquaintance. Now, before we start, would you mind telling me a little bit about yourself? Fowl? The fowl, fall? Stampeding in his chest, grows still and hides in the tall grass. His lips are, stretched taut, that's it. Storm snorts and looks away. P doesn't even raise an eyebrow. He picks the lad apart, clothes, accent, emotions, in search of a salient point he can exploit. Something vulnerable, but not so sore that as to elect a hostile reaction. You are from around here, right? A harmless enough question from the moody young man. Better than asking about his clothes.
Aye, born and raised here in the Hinterlands.
P remained quiet. Silence breeds discomfort, which the unwary often fill. The Minotaur's heart must be skipping a beat, or perhaps he feels small and vulnerable against the peacock. He snorts, then speaks.
But my ma's family's from up north, near the coast.
I see. Rough place. That's a rough place, isn't it?
Not rougher than this hellhole. Good for fishing, though. Damn cold waters, and windy as a tornado.
I don't know how I'm gonna, differentiate the voices between Storm and Asterion. I can't really do variations with doing my fake deep voice, you know. It's bad, I know. I'm not a voice actor. Sorry. Am I accidentally, bumping into the thing? Whoops. That's fine. The peacock's voice comes out monotone, as if he was responding to something the Minotaur revealed without knowing. Yes. A shiver runs up the Minotaur's spine as he feels watched by a dozen pairs of eyes. He looks around, but finds no one else there with them. Do you come from a family of fishermen? The fear of being watched loosened the Minotaur's lips.
Kinda. My dad on my mom's side is one.
He looks back around again, and nothing.
My brother's father are fishermen too.
The peacock's gaze grows harsher. Huh. How many brothers do you have?
6? No sisters. I'm the youngest. Mom didn't, want to have any more kids after me.
I see. So, you are the 7th. The 7th one.
Rank up magic! The 7th one!
That card sucks, by the way. It's sad, because I do like those characters that use the 7th one, but, like, that card sucks. Though anything to cheat out Umbral Horror, all I'm saying. Or Masquerade? Yeah. Petulance returns to the Minotaur.
Does that matter for something?
I'm not sure. There's a local legend. The seventh son of the 7th son is born. Special, shall we say. The folklore says he'll be a werewolf. Any chance your father might have been the 7th son as well?
Afraid I can't answer that question. Never met him.
I see.
Mom always said he was a man.
Puzzle pieces drift in the peacock's mind. He speaks without realizing he already wishes to crack the lad in pieces and see every bit of his past. Why do you have to be a Jedi Edition computer? Like, come on. Oh well. The thought of finding the hotel gives way to the frustration of investigating. Maybe he was, yes.
What's that supposed to mean?
He might have been human, yes, and you might just happen to have been born a Minotaur due to a freak event of nature. It's rare, but it can happen. Or he might have been something like me, carrying a charm to appear human. Maybe your daddy is waiting for you at the Minotaur's hotel I'm looking for. The peacock hopes the Minotaur will take the bait, but his face remains as hard to read as ever.
The fuck off with that!
That's a good face as well.
Answer me this question, city guy. If there was another freaking Minotaur around these parts, don't you think everyone would know about it? Look, it might sound idiotic, but maybe your granddad was bullshitting, and there is no Minotaur hotel, or whatever.
Well then, does that mean you're rejecting my offer? Then fuck right off. Not so tough now, huh? Look, I said I'd make it worth your while. You'll get paid no matter what, even if this hotel doesn't even exist. You'll get your damn charm tonight, and your money when we're done. But now, let's be honest for a minute. You see, kid, assuming for a moment your daddy is one like you and me, I'm doing what he should have done 20 years ago. So, here are your options. You can stay here, behave, and I'll teach you all about how to pass off as human. Or, you can leave and go back to being homeless. A flash of charity cuts through the Minotaur's mind as the pecking order is established. Would he grovel and beg? He would, without a second thought.
Teach me. I want to be human.
That's better, lad. First off, we can't become human. At most, we can pass off as one. That's the first thing. Just so you don't set your expectations too high.
What's the difference?
You'll still be, well, you, but others won't notice. It's exclusively a perception thing. You'll carry a charm around that makes everyone think you're a human.
If they touch me, will they figure it out?
Depends. If the charm is really, really good, they won't find anything wrong. They'll feel just a regular person. But the level of quality is usually but that level of quality is usually so expensive, you'll have to spend a lifetime working to pay it off. Or you can work a government job, they'll get you one of the good stuff. Get you some of the good stuff. Most people can't exactly do that, though, so we settle for something more accessible. Nowadays, you can get a good enough effect with a passport.
A passport? Is that a fucking joke?
No, it's exactly what it sounds like. You get a passport done. It has to be one of those e-passports with the chip inside, and they make the chip into a charm. As long as you always carry your passport with you, that's it.
You've got to be kidding me. All this time I could have just carried a passport.
All the humiliation of his lifetime, a freak in school, a wretch at home, an abomination in the streets, all of it could have been avoided. If only he had a booklet, yeah. It is nothing short of an insult. I'm sorry, I can't imagine what you've been through.
No, you can't.
The peacock braces for another outburst, but the boy bursts in, breathes in, grits his teeth, shakes, and breathes out.
So, we just walk into him. Where do I get a passport done? Just walk in and ask for it?
Well, yes, in theory, but it's illegal for us to walk around without a charm in the first place. You'd get arrested.
Then how do I... If the passport is the charm, and I can't get the passport without a charm.
Yes, quite the catch-22, But don't worry, kid. We're gonna fix it tonight. There are some homemade charms. They're not nearly as good as the passport, but hey, it'll do the job.
Then, how good is it? What's the catch? There must be one. I'm not stupid.
The catch is that low-quality charms have side effects. The specifics depend on how it was created, which process was used. More often than not, they'll make it hard for people to remember you. Mind you, the passports usually have this problem too, but it's real bad with the homemade ones.
Will people just forget I ever existed?
No, it's more like, with a homemade charm, people who meet you while you're in disguise will forget they ever saw you after about an hour or two. Makes it hard to keep a job, you know, or make friends, date.
No.
No.
That's not a bad thing. It sounds great. I've been treated like shit my whole life. I can't buy groceries without people looking at me like I'm diseased or something. I've been remembered my entire life, and I hate it. I hate this. Being forgotten sounds like the best thing in the world to me. I don't care what it costs. I'd kill for that. Let's do it. Make me the charm, please.
Good. Then I'll explain the process. There are many ways one can go about making a charm. In ancient Greece and Rome, it would involve sacrificing an animal to the gods to imbue the bones with magical properties. The Christians didn't appreciate these pagan rituals. Instead, they made it a sacrament through which crosses become charms. Just a century ago, you'd need a priest to have a charm made. However, times have changed, and now it's all a matter now it's all a matter for the state. Okay, if you know what and who to look for, you can get government issued charm. A government issued charm. But that usually requires having one with you already. At least you can collect it discreetly. So, each method can be harder or easier to realize, depending on our circumstances. Evidently, we don't have a cattle to sacrifice, and I doubt there's a priest nearby who knows the sacrament. There is a traditional American way, however, it requires very little in terms of materials, and what it does, I can readily provide. It'll take a while, and the charm it produces are quite peculiar. However, but that shouldn't be an issue. You'll have to follow my instructions too.
Just say just say what I gotta do. Whatever it is, I'll do it.
Good. It's simple, really. We'll start a fire, and then we'll each tell a story. We'll need to keep weaving more and more of them together to make your charm have lasting power. After we finish our stories, I will give you a feather, and you will throw it into the fire alongside whatever you want to be your charm. And this is the Latin American way. We tell stories, weave them together into a contract. You'll make an oath with humanity itself, built as an extension of your own, which, that's enough preamble already, kid. Are you ready and on board with this? Yeah. Are you ready and on board with this so we can start?
I'd be an idiot if I wasn't.
Glad to hear it. So. Oh. We have a firm handshake, kid. Oh, you have a firm handshake. Okay.
So do you. For a city boy.
Don't provoke me. You have no idea what the city boy is capable of.
Sure, then. Nice grip for an old man.
You really are a piece of shit, aren't you?
Yeah, get used to it. I know you need me to find your hotel.
Okay, I'll let you win this one. Now, should we get started on the charm?
Thought you'd never ask.
The peacock knows that an oath is a tenuous thing, given power by the relation of one thing to another. A complete thought to its dependent clause. A subject to an object, a bird to a minotaur. What inconsequential fluff can be revealed to connect with the storm? This boy who holds the secret to his deepest wish under lock and key. An authoritative. Don't worry about that. Nope. It's fine. It's fine. An authoritative flick of a wing suffices. Yes, to get the bull's attention, to make the wheels in the pair's head screech to a grinding halt. And since you'll be working for me, I'll begin with the one story you need to know. Where to start? You ever seen anything supernatural over here, Storm? The Minotaur looks away, to the road beyond sight. That tells the peacock what he really wants to know.
Plenty of weird stuff happens here, but I don't know if it's magic or what.
The peacock rolls his eyes. The brat tenses up, as though walking a tightrope and floundering for balance. In that moment, he understands better than ever before what it is to be under a hierarchy. He knows that he must take care not to offend his new benefactor, or risk losing his chance of humanity. Whatever his feelings, he must agree to anything this peacock says. Yeah. This place is supposed to be the last hole where one can find magic in the side of the country. On this side of the country. Radio, television, the internet, wherever those go, the weaker the magic. The weaker the magic becomes. We won't quite know why. We don't quite know why, but it is what it is. In this place, the Hinterlands, by virtue of how big of a shithole it is, kept itself free of all sorts of progress and basic civilization. Oh, sorry. I hope I didn't offend you.
Nah, I hate it here. People always treat me like shit. There's no jobs except for mining salt, and they won't take me even for that. Nothing to do, nothing to see, nothing worth saving in this hole.
The peacock smiles through the natural curvature of his beak. A storm's tacit admission stirs the breeze in his lungs until he emerges as a billowing prideful snort. I'm glad we agree with each other. Well, with that in mind, our story begins 80 or so years ago. I suppose it was a night much like this one, when someone much like me, that's my grandfather, ran away from this place. He lived most of his life here, and I don't know the details, but things went south, and he found himself having to run for his life. He ran as far as he could, and then spent 3 days in the wilderness, hiding during the day and trekking towards the coastline during the night. On the 4th night, he met a traveler who gave him some food and water. Nice man, I imagine. Sees someone running away and doesn't ask any questions, just offers help. Might have known he was better off not knowing. The wanderer, however, knew how to read the stars and gave Grandpa a few words of advice. Go northwest, you'll be safe there. But Grandpa didn't follow his advice. He heard stampeding horses from that direction, so he went to the east, and there he found a bus station. It was the middle of the night, and there was no one there. He checked the schedule. Perhaps a bus would come, take him northwest. Not 5 minutes later, one shows up. The driver was a creature disguised as a human. He didn't speak Portuguese, and his clothes had strange lettering. Grandpa bored. They set off northeast, and he was taken to a strange place he called the Minotaur Hotel. He told me it was created before the Tower of Babel was destroyed, and that a fragment of its old human magic survived there, making it so all could understand each other regardless of language. The place was governed by a Minotaur who had the power to make diamonds appear in the palm of his hand. No one went hungry there. Even the most wretched person could find a home and job. But, as you can guess, something happened. Grandpa came back home all messed up one day, and then set off to find that hotel again. But he never did. Spent years searching, went back to his job, met his wife, had his kid, but never stopped going out for days at a time to try and find the place. Pa thinks it was crazy, that this hotel never existed. Grandma's still around, and still repents every night Grandpa spent on the search. As for Gramps, it's been a few weeks since he passed on. I'd like to say that he told me the story again on his deathbed and asked me to find it, that hotel. Now, wouldn't that be grand? But that would be a lie. A sweet one, but a lie nevertheless. I wasn't there when he died, but at that time his mind had been so far gone. I like to think he felt some freedom when his time came. But I suppose one can never be freed without passing on a burden to another. Now that he's gone, the old wanderlust has taken me over. I want to find that hotel, clear my grandpa's name, prove he was right all along. A resolute look plays across the avian's features. If there was a vulnerability in his speech, it'd be thricefold and stashed in the corners of his mind. From where he stands, Storm can't help but notice how and how put together and proper everything about the peacock.
Plus, there's something over there that's mine. My inheritance, you could call it. I've been having dreams about this place ever since Grandpa passed on. I'm sure everything he said was true. Now it's your turn. Tell me a story.
I think I'm gonna have to stop this part here. It's getting a little long, you know. So yeah, we'll stop story time right in the middle, you know. We pass the baton over to him. Storm Chan. I like him, he's super cute. And P is really cool as well. But yeah, I'll see you around, everyone.